Ladies and gentlemen, in today's lecture, you people are going to learn about Aristophanes. Aristophanes, he was a great comedy writer. He has written comedy. So, in the time of the Roman Greeks, I have already taught you there were trilogy plays were usually conducted in the form of trilogy. So they bring their play in three parts. Along with three parts, they also bring one setter player, which is also known as star play. So in this star play, when people they are fed up and they have watched tragedy, and now they are fed up by watching this tragedy where people are dying, people are fighting, and ultimately their goddesses, they are putting them in tragedy and they're suffering, and with their suffering they are getting tragic end, and people are tired enough, they have got pity and fear. Ultimately they have got catharsis, pity, fears, and everything they have watched, and they are now tired enough. After this, they were also shown like this star play. So that was a comedy kind of play where people just mm, feel comfort, they feel soothed. So they are feeling soothed, comfort once they watch this star play. So star play is also brought with the trilogy, three parts of tragic play. They are also being shown like these star plays. So now we are going to discuss this star play. Before discussing star plays, especially for the frog by Aristophanes, I would like to discuss the life of the Aristophanes. Aristophanes was born 446 BC before Christ, and he was died 386 BC. He was died right after, he was died after the death of the Socrates. When Socrates he got trial, and ultimately he drank hemlock like that, and he died. And after 1 year's 1 year death of Socrates, he also died. So he wrote a play when Aeschylus died, and Sophocles died, and even when Euripides, they all play great tragedians and the great playwriter, they died, and people were just writing superficial kind of play. So they were not doing good work. So upon this, he criticized on society, literary work, and he satirized on the society, politics, and literary work of that time. So he born 446 BC and died 386 BC in Athens, Greece. He was the son of the Philippus and landowner of Aegina. So one of the writer of the old comedy, only his work remains. So he wrote around about 43 plays. Out of 43 plays, only 11 are survived. So let's see about his life. Aristophanes basically, he has written around about 43 plays, and out of 43, only 11 are survived. He usually write a satyr play. He is also known as the father of the old comedy. He is known as the father of the old comedy. Aristophanes is known as the father of the old comedy. So he has given you comedy. So when people are tired enough after watching tragedy, trilogy, people, especially audience, they would like to watch star plays on which some characters, they are in the form of some characters where chorus is working as a parabasis. So parabasis mean chorus is working on the behalf of the author. Whenever author wants to give some comments, author is not himself coming in front of the audience, rather in the form of the parabasis. Parabasis mean some chorus comes in the form of parabasis in front of the stage, and they are reflecting, showing the comments of the authors. Whatever author wants to convey, he conveys to chorus, and chorus are in the group, they come and they criticize, they say, they comment on the society, they come on the political leaders, they 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 comment on the political leaders, they comment on political generals, what they were doing at that times. And that was also he wrote this play right before the Peloponnesian War. So Peloponnesian War mean there were there was a Athenian League and there was Sparta League. So they both unanimously they were fighting with the Persians, and after that they were very powerful enough. Athenians and Spartans, they were very powerful, having gold, power, money, and ammunitions, everything they had, and they all together fought with the Persian power. So Persians, they were defeated by the Spartans and the Athenians. After that, Athenians and Athenian League and Spartan League, they also fought with each others. And after that, after the loss of the Athenian, fleet, they surrendered. They surrendered in front of the, Spartans. At last, Spartan won this Peloponnesian wars, and Athenian, they surrendered. And he also criticized people like generals of the general of the Athenian Greece, because Athenian generals, they were using Athens for their own purpose, for their own benefit. He criticized in his plays, in his literary work. He criticized the work of the generals because they were using Athens for their own purpose, for their own benefits. He criticized on some peoples like Cleons, like peoples. He criticized them. Son of the landowners, 43 prays, only 11 are survived. He's known as the father of the comedy, old comedy. He gives the origins of the old comedies, and no you see comedy, whatever you see, it is given by the Aristophanes. So father of the comedy plays. His power was even feared by the ancient contemporary Plato. Even Plato, he accept endorse he endorses his power of criticizing, showing the true reflections of the society. He is even known as a contemporary of the Socrates and the Plato. He was died after the 3 month death of the Socrates, when Socrates was put into trials and ultimately he drank the hemlock. He died, and right after the 3 month of the Socrates, he died as well. He was also known as a contemporary of these great, writers, critical thinkers, and philosophers. He was a contemporary writer of the both Plato, Socrates, and he even saw the life of the Euripides, Aeschylus, and something like these writers. His play, The Clouds and the Slender, that contributed to the death and the trials of the Socrates. So he even criticized the work of Aeschylus, work of the Euripides and Sophocles. He commented on their work as well through his plays. His plays, Babylonians by Aristophanes, it was denounced by the Cleon's journal. He even criticized on the generals, Cleon generals, and this Cleon generals even challenged his work, and he was even faced the trials, and he even caricatured Cleon's generals, and ruthlessly, mercilessly, he portrayed and caricatured the work of the leaders, political leaders, and people like generals. They were misusing their powers, especially Athenians state they are using for their own interest. So Knight, he also performed one of the play Night. He criticized the Cleon's Athenian generals and satirized him again and again, and made his caricatures and portrayed him in a negative forms. But all these things did not impact the power of the Cleons, because Cleons once again elected, and he got great power. Despite of his criticism, whatever he was criticizing, making caricatures, still people loved the Cleons, and they give him votes. Old comedy plays like author speaks through chorus. So especially in this old comedy, there are authors, they are speaking through the parabases. Parabases mean a group of the people like chorus. So whatever author wants to comment, this parabases is going to recommend and give comments on the peoples. So now let's see the summary of the play. We are going to see the summary of the play. So here is certain characters. First of all, we are going to discuss about Frog. the frog. So the frog is basically criticism. He is criticizing the politics and the society of his contemporary society, what they were doing, what they were reflecting, what way they are behaving. Even he criticized the literary people of his time. So what happens? This play is written before the Peloponnesian War. Peloponnesian War, I have already told you, that was a war between the Athenians and Spartans. Spartan and Athenian, they both fought, and ultimately Athenian, they lost this war because they lost their fleet, and after that they surrendered to Sparta, and Sparta ultimately finally won this war. In this play, the frogs, there are two character, Dionysus definitely a god, and this Dionysus god is having one servant, uh, Xinthias. So Xinthias is his servant, and both they are traveling, and they are interested to go to the Sophocles. They are interested to visit Euripides, because this play is written after the death of both Aeschylus and Sophocles and Euripides. So Euripides and Aeschylus, they both died, and this play is written after the death of the Euripides. No, Euripides is another word. Definitely, when died, there was a myth in the in the Athenian Greece. When somebody is died, he is going to some places which is called as underworld, and this underworld ruler's name is Pluto. So Pluto is having one servant whose name is Echius. So let me write the name of Echius, and these two main names. Dionysus. Dionysus is a god, and having servant name is Xanthias. So Dionysus just disguise himself and wears the skin of the lions, and he goes to his brother named Hercules. They both visited Hercules, and they ask Hercules, they want to visit underwear where they want to see Euripides. So what happens? Hercules tell them the way, and they both first of all, Hercules, when see him in the form of disguised form of the Dionysus, he started laughing at the Dionysus. And then after that, he tells him the way how you approach to the underworld. So when they go to the underworld, while going to the different lakes, there were a number of frogs. They are screaming at Dionysus, and Dionysus, while seeing all these frogs, he started shouting at the frogs as well. And now we are unable to recognize whether dogs are screaming or shouting, or Dionysus is himself shouting. So this play it create kind of comedy. It's kind of comedy, show the comedy of the god, and there is a Xanthias who's a servant of the Dionysus. Both they, sometime he wears this skin of the lions, and sometimes they interchange with each other. So when they reach the underworld, they see the Pluto's servant Echius. So once they see Echius started asking questions. So who is the masters between you? You both guys, you both are gods, or one is God? Let me know. So he says that I am the god. Dionysus say I am the god, and Xinthias say I am the god. So both they are god. They are considered god by the Echius. Echius say, let's check who is a god between you. So either you or you god. So he started fighting both Dionysus and the Xinthias. What he feel, what he checks if there is one god does not feel any physical pain. So when he started beating, both started feeling the pains. So this way they are being presented in front of the god, Lord Pluto is ruling underworld, or over there. Pluto no they ask Pluto ask from the Dionysus. There are two people. They are great writers. Like you had great writers in your country, like Sophocles, Aeschylus, and Euripides. Since Aeschylus was enjoying good place, and no one ever challenge Aeschylus. Aeschylus, whatever Aeschylus write, Aeschylus lies for the good character. Aeschylus lie give good plot. Aeschylus lie with good meters, and he's writing his poetry, his drama, tragedy with good meter, good rhyming scheme, and he gives people characters, and he's making and refining people doing something good work. But Euripides was writing loose plot, not writing following the ancient Greek rules, regulations, and whatever he was writing, that was not good. So over there they are discussing about these two main character, main writers. And no, they 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 conduct literary contest between the two writers. Both are presented, because this is underworld, and no, both are presented in front of the Dionysus. No, ask from both whose work is best. So both give their argument, they give their rhetoric, they give their persuasive language, and they describe that they have written good works, both Sophocles, both Aeschylus and Euripides. Aeschylus say that your work is not good because your work does not give good advice to the people. It's not didactic, it does not teach, it does not guide, it does not provide youth any kind of guidance. Your work is not good. While Euripides say that my work is a different one, I have written different way, I have my own approach this way. So blame Aeschylus blame that your work and your characters are just scoundrels, just rogue. They do not guide people. Upon this, Euripides accept his all the charges, and after that, Dionysus say that let's take Euripides' works and Aeschylus' work, and he waits. He waits through the scales, and ultimately he finalized that work of the Aeschylus is a great one. And after that, he gives argument in the favor of. He gives his opinion in favor of the Aeschylus. Ultimately, Aeschylus say that he will go to the heaven with the Dionysus, and after that he also say that after that a poet laureate will be selected, Sophocles. So Sophocles will be given place after me, not Euripides, because Euripides is not up to the level of the Sophocles, because Sophocles follow me, and Sophocles has written to great extent like me. So whereas Euripides is concerned, Euripides is just deviated and does not follow the rules, regulation, and his work does not give any guidance to the youth of the Athens Greece. So this way, this play is ended, and this play is basically style, just comment on the political life of the Athens, and societies, and overall it show the leaders attitude as well. So at the end we see that this is asked from the Euripides and Aeschylus about the political peoples of the political or the state. Comment You should comment on the state, Athens Greece political peoples. So what Euripides say that we should do, we should a state should align according to the people. So whereas Aeschylus say that we should align ourselves according to the states. So this way, this comment is also accepted, and Aeschylus is given high marks as compared to the Euripides, because Euripides wants to have another viewpoint. So this way, this play is ended, and overall, Aeschylus win this contest, literary contest, because Aeschylus has written according to no rule, norms, and plots, and meters. His work really weighed a lot according to the Dionysus, and Dionysus give him marks and give the scene in favor of the Aeschylus. That's how plays ended, and plays basically star on the political life of the Athens and the societal life of the Athens and their way of living, their war and their political peoples, and like that, they are being starred in this play. So in today's play, we have discussed about the frogs by Aristophanes lives, and tomorrow, inshallah, we'll be discussing about the rest of the work. Especially, we'll be discussing about the work of the Geoffrey Chaucer. Will start a medieval age. Stay blessed and have a nice time. In today's session, we don't have another participant, but we'll discuss life of the Aristophanes and the frogs by Aristophanes. Stay blessed.